Most dog owners want the same thing, a happy dog. A dog that is genuinely thriving, not just surviving, not just well fed and physically healthy, but emotionally fulfilled in a way that shows up in how they move through their daily life. But happiness in a dog is not always loud or obvious. It does not always look like a dog bouncing off the walls with excitement. Sometimes it is quieter than that, subtler, a set of behavioral and physiological signals that most owners walk past every day without recognizing them for what they are. Today we are going through 9 signs that your indoor dog is not just okay, but genuinely, deeply happy. Each one grounded in what behavioral science actually tells us about canine well-being. 1. They have a relaxed resting posture. This one is easy to overlook because it happens in the background of every day. But the way your dog rests is one of the most reliable indicators of their baseline emotional state. A genuinely happy dog rests with a soft, loose body, muscles not held in tension, limbs extended or flopped rather than tucked tightly, breathing slow and even, face relaxed, no furrowed brow, no tight jaw, no ears pinned. They are not alert to every sound. They are not positioned facing the door. They are simply at ease. This kind of physical relaxation requires something that not every dog has, a nervous system that has been given sufficient safety signals to fully stand down. A dog in chronic low-grade stress cannot produce it regardless of how comfortable their bed is. The resting posture is the body's honest verdict on the emotional environment it inhabits. When your dog flops down in the middle of the room, rolls onto their side, and exhales fully, that is not laziness. That is a dog whose nervous system has nothing to defend against, and that is one of the most meaningful things you can give them. 2. They engage curiously with their environment. A happy dog is an interested dog. They investigate smells on the walk rather than moving through space mechanically. They notice things, a new object in the room, a sound from outside, a change in the household routine, with curiosity rather than anxiety. The distinction between curiosity and anxiety is important because both involve engagement with novelty. A curious dog approaches the new thing with a loose body, ears forward, tail in a natural relaxed position. An anxious dog approaches, if they approach at all, with tension, with hypervigilance, with a body that is ready to flee rather than explore. Research on animal welfare consistently uses what is called a cognitive bias test to assess emotional state. Animals in positive emotional states show optimistic bias. They approach novel stimuli with the expectation of positive outcomes. Animals in negative emotional states show pessimistic bias. They approach or avoid novelty with the expectation of threat. A dog that moves through the world with curiosity, that finds the environment interesting rather than threatening, is a dog whose emotional baseline is oriented toward the positive. That is not a personality type. That is a welfare indicator. 3. They sleep well and deeply. Dogs sleep a lot. Adult dogs can sleep anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day, and that is entirely normal. But the quality of that sleep matters as much as the quantity. A genuinely happy dog cycles through deep sleep regularly. You can observe this. The twitching, the soft vocalizations, the rapid eye movement that indicates the dog has reached the deeper stages of the sleep cycle. These stages are associated with memory consolidation, emotional processing, and genuine physiological restoration. A dog that sleeps lightly, that startles easily from rest, that never seems to reach the deep twitching stages, that dog is not getting the restorative sleep their nervous system needs. Chronic stress keeps the nervous system in a state of partial activation that prevents deep sleep the same way it does in humans. A dog that sleeps deeply and wakes refreshed, that rises from rest with a full body stretch and a calm, clear energy, is a dog whose nervous system is functioning the way it should. Sleep quality is one of the least discussed but most reliable indicators of genuine canine well-being. 4. They play. Even as adults play in adult dogs is not a given. It requires a sufficient baseline of safety, energy, and positive emotional state to emerge. A dog that is chronically stressed, understimulated, or emotionally depleted does not play. The behavioral and neurological resources that play requires are not available when the system is running in survival mode. An adult dog that still initiates play with you, with other dogs, with toys independently, is demonstrating something important. Their nervous system has enough surplus capacity to invest in behavior that has no survival function. Play is the behavioral expression of well-being in excess of what is needed just to cope. The play bow, the zoomies, the bouncing approach with a toy, these are not just entertaining, They are indicators. A dog that plays regularly is a dog whose daily life is providing enough of what they need that there is something left over for joy. 5. They seek you out for connection, not just resources. There's a meaningful difference between a dog that comes to you because they want something, food, a walk, access to outside, and a dog that comes to you simply because they want to be near you. The second type is the one that matters for happiness assessment. A dog that seeks your proximity in calm, low-need moments, that comes and settles near you when nothing is being offered or requested, that chooses your company when they could be anywhere else, is a dog that has formed a genuinely positive association with your presence independent of what you provide. This is secure attachment expressing itself in the most ordinary way available. The dog is not performing affection for a reward. They are drawn to you because being near you is, in itself, something their nervous system finds rewarding. That is, the relationship functioning the way it is supposed to. 6. They eat with enthusiasm and regularity. Appetite is one of the most sensitive behavioral barometers of emotional state in dogs. More sensitive in many cases than behavioral observation alone. A happy dog eats with consistent enthusiasm, not frantically. That can indicate food insecurity or resource anxiety, but with genuine interest, appropriate speed, and reliable appetite across meals. They do not need coaxing. They do not turn away from their bowl in a healthy state. They arrive at meal times with the kind of calm eagerness that reflects a nervous system at baseline. Chronic stress, depression, significant anxiety, and physical illness all suppress appetite in dogs. A dog that eats well consistently, that has maintained stable appetite over time without requiring enhancement or coaxing, is a dog whose emotional and physical state is supporting normal biological function. It is one of the quieter signs of genuine well-being and one of the first to change when something is wrong. 7. They have a predictable emotional baseline. A happy dog is not a dog that is always maximally excited. That kind of perpetual high arousal is actually a stress indicator in many cases, a nervous system that cannot find its way to calm. A genuinely happy dog has a stable, predictable emotional baseline. They can be calm when the environment is calm. They can be excited when something genuinely exciting happens. A walk, a visitor, play. And they can return to baseline after the excitement passes without extended difficulty. This capacity for emotional regulation, the ability to move through different states and return to center, is one of the most important indicators of canine psychological health. It reflects a nervous system that has been given enough consistency, enough safety, and enough appropriate stimulation to develop genuine resilience. A dog that is always either flat or frantic, that has no reliable middle ground, is a dog whose emotional regulation system is not functioning optimally. A dog with a stable, accessible baseline is a dog that is genuinely well. 8. They respond to your emotional cues without anxiety. A happy, secure dog is emotionally attuned to their owner, responsive to changes in mood, aware of emotional shifts in the household, picking up on what the people around them are feeling. But there is a crucial difference between a dog that is attuned and a dog that is hypervigilant. The attuned dog notices your emotional state and responds appropriately, coming to you when you are sad, settling when you are calm, activating when you are energized. Their response is proportional and flexible. The hypervigilant dog monitors you with a level of intensity that reflects anxiety rather than attunement. They are always watching, always tracking, always ready to respond. Not from a place of interest, but from a place of chronic uncertainty about what comes next. A happy dog reads you and responds to you from a relaxed, confident baseline. Their attunement is an expression of the bond. It does not cost them anything. It is simply part of how they move through the world with you. 9. They have physical outlets and use them. A happy indoor dog has adequate physical and sensory outlet for the energy and drive their breed and individual temperament generates. And crucially, they use those outlets without having to be forced into them. A dog that engages willingly with walks, that participates in play with genuine enthusiasm, that engages with enrichment activities, puzzle feeders, sniff work, interactive toys, without requiring excessive coaxing, is a dog whose daily life is meeting their physical and cognitive needs. The dog that refuses walks, that is indifferent to enrichment, that has lost interest in play. That dog is often showing early signs of depression or chronic stress rather than simply being low energy. Motivation to engage with the environment is itself a welfare indicator. 9 signs, most of them quiet, all of them real. Drop a comment. I read every single one. Subscribe. New video every week. See you next time.